everyone, so today we will be learning about punctuation and sentence structure. We will be learning about this is basically the overview of what we want to cover in this lecture. So, we're going to be learning about punctuations in regards to what is a punctuation, periods, question marks, exclamation marks, and commas. And you should already be familiar with the period, the question mark, and then exclamation mark, and then comma, maybe not, but we're going to cover everything and we will get through it together. And then also, we're going to learn about sentence structure. We're going to learn about simple sentence structure, compound sentences, and complex sentences. So this is going to be a more extensive lecture than usual, but we're going to go over everything. All right. So, punctuation helps us understand how sentences are written and read. It shows pauses, questions, emotions, and connections between ideas. So, when I say pauses, I mean period. When I say question, I mean a question mark. When I say emotion, usually it's an exclamation mark. And the connection between ideas is going to be a comma. So, we're kind of getting the general idea. All right. So, what is punctuation exactly? So, punctuation marks are symbols used in writing to organize ideas and make meaning clear. They help readers understand when a sentence ends, which is when an idea ends, like when something is a complete thought, when a question is asked, when a strong emotion is expressed, and how ideas are connected. So, the first punctuation that we're going to learn about is going to be a period. So, a period is used at the end of a statement. An example of this is going to be something like, she is my friend. So once I stated that she is my friend, that is a complete thought, a complete sentence. I'm going to end it with a period because I'm making a statement. The other one is, we are learning English. You're going to end it with a period. And then the last one is, the class starts at 6:30. This is a complete sentence, so you're going to end this statement. You stated what you stated with a period. The next thing that we're going to learn about is going to be question marks. So a question mark is used at the end of a question. So if I ask you a question like, where are you going? It has, if I'm going to write this down, where are you going? I'm going to end it with a question mark. This shows that this is a question. Do you understand the lesson? Question mark. What is your name? Question mark. All right. And then the next one is going to be an exclamation mark. So an exclamation mark shows strong emotion. An example is, that is amazing! Exclamation mark. It shows that this person is very excited to say, this is amazing! Exclamation mark. I am so happy. Strong emotion of happiness. Wash out! Strong emotion of like warning someone. So this is like, if you watch lecture 2, this is like lecture 2 basically with type of sentences, but it's just going more into depth of punctuations. All right, and then the one that is like kind of like more of a new idea is going to be comma. So a comma is used to separate ideas in a sentence. Common uses is going to be something like in a list. So somebody say, like, let's just say somebody stated, let's use a sticker. I bought apples, oranges, and bananas. Instead of just writing, I bought apples, oranges, and bananas, you're going to use a comma to separate the items so that they're more individual. I bought apples, oranges, and bananas. And you can see that you kind of pause in between the comma, and this helps separate each of these items so that there's no confusion. I bought apples, oranges, and bananas. Because if you said it like that, it will kind of sound confusing, but commas just clarify the sentence, clarify the ideas so that you're not getting confused that somebody is saying something like, I bought apples, oranges. Like, that's one word. When you put a comma, it helps separate the idea clearly so that you can understand these sentences basically better. Another example of a comma being used is going to be before conjunction and but or so. So I wanted to go, comma, but I was tired. So this helps separate it. It helps create kind of like a pause. And this is the two sentences, more common uses of when a comma, of commas. All right. So the next thing that we're going to learn about is going to be sentence structure. So sentence structure explains how words are organized to form sentences. So what is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. A complete thought must have a subject. A subject. Let's go ahead and highlight the word subject just so that we can memorize it. A subject and a verb. And as you remember from lecture 1, you remember what a subject was. Usually it is going to be like a noun. It's going to be a person, a place, etc. And then also a verb is going to be an action. So an example of this being used to define a sentence is going to be something like, if we said something like she runs, because it has a subject, which is she, and a verb, which is runs, it is using the definition of a complete sentence. This is going to be a complete sentence. But also using what we learned about punctuation, she runs is going to be a complete statement. So we're going to use a period. So a simple sentence has one subject and one verb. It expresses a complete idea. So something like, she studies is going to be a complete idea, and it has a subject and a verb. So because of that and it expresses a complete idea, she studies. There's no like room for confusion. Okay, she studies. That's what we know. That's a complete idea, and that's going to be a simple, complete sentence. The dog runs, and I like coffee is also going to be simple sentences. And because these are all statements, they're not asking questions, they're not expressing strong emotions, nor are they connecting two separating ideas, you're going to end it with a period. All right. And then the next thing that we're going to learn about is the compound sentence. So a compound sentence has two complete ideas joined together. They are connected by words like and, but, or, so. So we learned about this also with the first lecture, basically, with, the conjunctions. But we're just going to kind of expand on this. Examples is going to be, I wanted to go outside, comma, but it was raining. So it's two complete ideas. It was raining. I wanted to go outside. You could end that with a period. It was raining. When you add but, it connects why you're hesitating to go outside. But it was raining. Another example is going to be something like, she studied hard and passed the exam. So you could put a period over here and just be like, she studied hard, she passed the exam. But when you connect the ideas with a conjunction, she studied hard and she passed the exam, it becomes a compound sentence, and it allows for you to join two complete ideas together in one sentence. And it helps bring the story. It helps us create a more complete story when we write a sentence. Because if we said something like, she studied hard, like if we said, she studied hard, period, she passed the exam, okay? But when those are still two complete sentences and everything like that, but when we use conjunctions like and, but, or so, it helps us like have a better idea of this. So she studied hard and she passed the exam. So now we see the connection that because she studied hard, she passed the exam. Better than just simply making them two sentences, if that makes sense. And then the next thing that we're going to learn about is complex sentences. So a complex sentence has one complete idea, but it has one dependent clause. So it's different from a compound sentence, which has two complete ideas joined together. This one has one complete idea and one incomplete idea. So one that doesn't make sense if it wasn't there. So, for example, we have this sentence, because I was tired, I went to bed. So we have a complete idea, I went to bed. So let's try to, actually, I want you guys to try to identify it before like we do this. So remember what this means. A complex sentence has one independent clause, complete idea, and one dependent clause, incomplete idea, right? We know that. And then we have this sentence. We have two ideas over here. We see it. And let's do it. Let me do it in two different colors. So we have, you can pause this and you can identify which one is going to be the independent clause and which one is going to be the dependent clause. But let's go ahead and also, so you can pause it and try to do it by yourself. And also do it for this one as well. I stayed at home because it was raining, right? So let's try to do it for both. So for the first one, we have, I hope you guys like pause the video and did it, but if you don't, it's okay as well. We can work on it together. So we have two sentences. Let me put this in a different color as well. This way it's more clear as we discuss it. So we have, because I was tired, I went to bed. So I went to bed is going to be the complete idea over here. But one that is incomplete is going to be, because I was tired. Okay, because I was tired, you did what? Like if somebody was like, because I was tired, like just on random, like if somebody randomly said, because I was tired, you would like expect for them to say more. Because you were tired, what? That is going to be the incomplete idea. That is not complete until we put the independent clause here, which is the complete idea. So it becomes, because I was tired, instead of leaving us hanging, I went to bed. And that is the complex sentence over here. The next thing is going to be, I stayed home because it was raining. So I stayed home is going to be the complete idea over here. Because it was raining is going to be the dependent clause. And usually you can see like the incomplete idea. Like you can kind of tell it's a complex sentence when you see because. So I hope that made sense. If it doesn't, please text me on WhatsApp or anything like that. And then we can always set up a meeting and we can talk about it. We can do the homeworks together. This way, like everyone is understanding it. Because this is it may seem very basic, but this is the basics of English writing. And if you master these things, you should be good with English writing. All right. So now we're going to practice, right? So the first sentence is I like tea, but I prefer coffee. So what type of sentence is this? Let's go over some of the definitions. We learned about complex sentence, which is an independent clause, which is a complete idea and an incomplete idea. And then we learned about compound sentences, which is going to be two complete ideas. And we learned about simple sentence structures. All right. So which one of those three is it? Okay. So if you said, let's look at it. I like tea, but I prefer coffee. So just looking at the conjunctions and everything like that. Actually, we don't even have to look at the conjunctions. I like tea, but I prefer coffee. I like tea. Complete sentence. I prefer coffee. Complete sentence. These are two complete ideas, so this is going to be a compound sentence. All right. The next one is going to be she reads her book. She reads her book at home. So we only have one complete idea over here. So it's going to be one complete idea. Remember that the complex sentences had a complete and an incomplete idea. A compound sentence had two complete ideas, and a simple sentence has one complete idea. So with that, which one do you think this one is? She reads her book at home is going to be just one idea, so it's going to be a simple sentence. All right. And then the next thing is going to be because it was late, we stayed inside. So I know just looking at this from what we discussed in the last slide, I'm sure you guys have already guessed the correct one for this one. It is going to be a complex sentence. And our big hint is going to be because. And if you read the sentence, because it was late, we stayed inside. We stayed inside is going to be the complete idea. Because it was late is going to be kind of like an incomplete idea. It has to have this we stayed inside in order for us to understand what it's talking about. Because it was late. Like, it doesn't really make sense alone. So this is going to be a complex sentence. All right? So these are going to be the answers. All right, and that is going to be everything that we learned in this lecture. I hope you guys do understand it. If you have any questions, always text me. All right, that completes our lecture. Thank you, everyone.